What does it mean to be truly rich? Is it the size of your bank account, or the size of your courage, gratitude, and resilience? And what about poverty? Does it begin with an empty wallet, or with the stories you tell yourself? I'll never have enough. People like me can't succeed. These beliefs don't just limit you, they build walls in your mind, trapping you in fear and doubt. The Stoics understood that wealth has little to do with possessions and everything to do with perspective. As Seneca said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Poverty doesn't begin with empty pockets. It begins with a restless, craving mind. But here's the good news. You already hold the key to freedom. By changing your perspective, you can transform scarcity into gratitude, fear into courage, and doubt into strength. Are you ready to break the mental chains and thrive? Let's dive into how Stoic wisdom can help you redefine wealth and unlock a life of resilience and abundance. 1. Scarcity thinking versus abundance thinking. One of the defining traits of a poverty mindset is the belief that there is never enough money, opportunities, or security. People trapped in scarcity thinking approach life like a zero-sum game, where someone else's success feels like their loss. This fear of lack can lead to hoarding, defensiveness, and even self-sabotage. But the Stoics saw this mindset as a false narrative fueled by fear rather than reality. Seneca reminded us, "What nature requires is easily obtained and within reach." Our basic needs, food, shelter, purpose, are often met. Yet many people fall into the trap of constantly craving more, mistaking luxury for necessity. When you believe you're always one step away from ruin, you begin living in survival mode, reacting to life instead of living intentionally. To break free from scarcity thinking, you must redefine what enough means to you. Start by recognizing the difference between what you need and what you've been conditioned to want. Gratitude can help shift your focus from what's missing to what's already present. When you stop equating worth with accumulation, you begin to see life as abundant, not limited. 2. The fear of failure. Another key pillar of the poverty mindset is the paralyzing fear of failure. When you believe that any misstep could lead to disaster, you become afraid to take risks, pursue dreams, or invest in yourself. This fear traps you in a cycle of playing it safe, which often means staying stagnant. Epictetus taught, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." In the same way, those who fear failure will never unlock their true potential. The Stoics understood that failure isn't a verdict, it's a teacher. Mistakes and setbacks are inevitable, but they are not the end of your journey. In fact, they are crucial steps along the path to mastery. If you attempt something and fail, you've still gained experience, resilience, and insight. The real failure is to avoid trying at all. To overcome this fear, shift your mindset from asking, "What if I fail?" to "What will I learn if I do?" The more you embrace failure as a process rather than a catastrophe, the more empowered you become to take meaningful action. By accepting that imperfection is part of the journey, you free yourself from the fear that keeps you trapped, and you step into growth. 3. The comfort of familiar struggles. One of the hardest truths about the poverty mindset is that struggle itself can become comfortable. When you've spent years surviving instead of thriving, the idea of real change can feel more terrifying than staying in your current situation. The Stoics warned against this passive acceptance of hardship. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle you're afraid to face may be the very thing that leads to your freedom. Why do people stay in situations that limit them? Because familiarity feels safe, even when it's painful. The unknown, no matter how full of potential, seems riskier than staying in the same place. But the Stoics believed that discomfort and difficulty are essential for growth. It's through facing what you fear that you build the courage to rise above it. If you find yourself stuck in familiar struggles, ask yourself, am I staying here because it's right for me or because it's familiar? True change begins when you're willing to step into discomfort and challenge old patterns. The path to a life of abundance doesn't happen by avoiding obstacles. It happens by facing them head-on and trusting that the struggle will make you stronger. 4. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. A poverty mindset often feeds on the stories we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. People like me can't succeed. Why bother trying if I'm doomed to fail? These limiting beliefs create a mental ceiling that keeps us stuck. Over time, negative self-talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, reinforcing a narrative of inadequacy. The Stoics knew the power of thought in shaping reality. Epictetus said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things." In other words, it's not your circumstances, but the way you interpret them that determines your mindset. If you believe you're destined to fail, you'll avoid opportunities that could lead to success, confirming your own doubts. To break this cycle, you must become aware of your inner dialogue and challenge it. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't," ask, is that true or just fear speaking? Replace self-defeating thoughts with affirmations of resilience and growth. I've overcome challenges before. I can do it again. The Stoics taught that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we frame it. By reframing your self-talk, you change the way you approach life's opportunities and setbacks, building a mindset of possibility rather than limitation. 5. The illusion of someday. One of the most subtle but dangerous aspects of the poverty mindset is the belief that a better life is always in the distant future. We tell ourselves, someday I'll save enough to start that business. Someday I'll take that risk. But someday is a mirage. It keeps moving further away the closer we get. The result? We remain stuck in place, endlessly postponing the life we dream of. The Stoics warned against this trap of delay. Seneca wrote, "While we wait for life, life passes." We convince ourselves that the perfect time will come, but life rarely aligns with our expectations. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. Progress happens when you act despite uncertainty. Ask yourself, what small step can I take today? Instead of waiting for ideal conditions, choose to begin now, with what you have and where you are. The perfect time to change your life isn't in the distant future, it's right now. When you stop postponing your dreams for someday, you reclaim your time, your power, and your freedom. Breaking free from the poverty mindset starts with the courage to act today, however imperfectly. The life you long for doesn't arrive in a single grand moment. It's built through consistent, intentional action in the present. 6. The key to freedom. The poverty mindset isn't about money. It's about the beliefs that chain you to fear, doubt, and delay. The good news: you already hold the key to freedom. By shifting from scarcity to gratitude, fear to action, and waiting to doing, you unlock a life of purpose and possibility. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True freedom begins within. The question is, will you act on it today? Your journey to abundance doesn't start with wealth. It starts with one small, courageous step. Take it. Reflection. What will you do today to unlock the freedom already within you? If this message inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights that empower you to overcome limitations and build a life of meaning and strength. See you next time.